Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that if you're returning. How you doing? Um, there's quite a few things that we're going to be talking about today, so heads up. Turn your earphones on, do whatever you have to do so you can hear me loud and clear, okay? Um, the first thing that we're going to be talking about is something is going on in Illinois, okay? Um, this was sent to me, okay, and it reads like this, and I'll put it up for you so you guys can see it. It says starting Tuesday, December 31st, so this is just what, the other day, all employees and patients and visitors at hospitals are required to wear this. Yeah. Uh, to the widespread respiratory illnesses in our community, including Mr. 19, the flu, and RSV. Additionally, we are implementing a temporary visitor restriction, only 2 visitors age 18 and up at a time. Thank you for your cooperation. And then the person who sent this to me said, I was reading the comments. At least it seems most people seem like us and saying it reminds them of 2020. This was posted in Danville, Illinois. Huh. And it's, if you can see this, it says, anyone thinking of 2020 again? I think not. Why tomorrow? Laugh out loud. Is it going to be worse tomorrow over today? Didn't the government flat out say this was not effective after all? Dear God. Yeah, I know, right? You could wear all the pretty ones that you want. It's not going to work. So this was sent in, and because I did a video the other day about the Rothschilds, and this was sent in, and here's a picture, okay? And they said Jacob Rothschild and Marina Abramovich, okay, standing under a painting of, oh, Lucifer, ugh, yuck, in Rothschild's house, one of their houses. Notice how the stance looks a lot like the Statue of Liberty, pure evil. Can't tell me they don't worship him. Oh, wow. Yeah, you're right. Huh. Just like the Statue of Liberty. Jeez. Thank you. So this was sent in, and a community member wants to know if this is a new pandemic. And this is for, does it say which area? No. But this is also for, okay, this is also in Illinois, about the restrictions in hospitals. 18 and up, no more than 2 visitors allowed. Jeez, this is, what's really going on? Are we going to see this stuff again? I hope not. I'm not having it. We're not going to go through this again. Don't fall for it again. Whatever this is, don't fall for it. Do not comply. No. Horizon Health. Visitor restrictions now in effect. Do not visit if you are experiencing any of the following: fever, sore throat, cough. Huh. Ridiculous. So take a look at this, okay? And it says Fairhope officers are coordinating off a section of downtown Fairhope due to a threat of local business by way of explosive device. The city received this threat through an online service request form. How the hell do you even do that? Currently, there is no evidence beyond the threat itself. However, officers are adhering to protocol as precautionary measure. The streets closed off at this time are Fairhope Avenue. What the heck is going on? Okay, so I heard from my best friend who lives in the UK, and she said, so here in the UK, our grocery bills are going to increase yet again, this time via a tax on plastic packaging as well as part of the net zero nonsense. Apparently, retailers such as supermarkets are going to be charged a levy for every ton of packaging they use. And of course, they will be charging higher rates for plastic. And of course, this extra cost will be passed on to shoppers. This is the beginning touted as a new grocery tax, and most news outlets have come up with an extra cost of about 56 British pounds, which means in reality it will cost more than that. The scheme is set to be enforced from January 1st. I haven't delved into it too much as supermarkets are going to charge what they want anyway. It's up to us whether we decide to buy the items or not. She said, I just thought I would let you know about it if you didn't already know. How long before this BS hits other countries as part of their net zero garbage? So she left a link, and I'll put that in the description box below for you guys, okay? And then this was sent in to a community member said, I can't remember if I mentioned this or not. There's a lot going on here. I started working at a food co-op in September, and I learned about a program called Food Bucks for EBT. Okay. She said how it works is if someone is receiving EBT and buys $20 of fresh produce, they will also receive additional $20 for more fresh produce. No kidding. That's interesting. My place of work will just credit their account the $20. Farmers markets will issue the account in coupons. We have a form the person fills out, and then they are eligible. I had time to Google it. There is a program called Double Up that is available in 25 states right now. Okay, so she sent me the link, so the link will be in the description box below. And then somebody else wrote in and said, you know what, you're right, not a damn thing feels right. I got the election right, but I feel bad about it. It's not sitting right. Drones, aliens, fog, nothing feels right. I've got beef ordered in January, pork after that. I'm prepared in West Tennessee, but Lord, what for? Sitting tight. You be safe. You be safe too. Thank you. So here's some pictures that I'm going to put up for you, okay? And these pictures were sent in, and it's a fog. These pictures were taken on December 28th, 2024 at 6:30 in the morning. And she said that the fog is normal here in western Missouri, but nothing like this. This is absurd. You can't even see two inches in front of your face. What the hell is that? And you could see the particles. Oh, your poor dog. This is terrible. You can literally see the particles that I was talking about in a video the other day. Wow. So this question was asked of me. This person said, I think 2025 is going to test our mettle even with the new administration, and I'm sure they're trying to leave him with the biggest mess possible. I just keep thinking, what happens when the interest in the debt exceeds tax revenues? I don't know. I really don't. I don't have that answer. They can tax they already tax the hell out of us. They can't tax us anymore that I can possibly think of. That's rational, unless they start taxing our food. See, here in Florida, they don't tax our food, but I don't know if other states their food is taxed or not, but you've got me stumped. I don't know. I don't have an answer. Maybe somebody else does. Okay, so what?
What was the question? Here, you can just scroll down.
Okay.
Oh, I love that ChatGPT.
Okay, so when the interest on a country's debt exceeds its tax revenues, it leads to a critical fiscal imbalance. Here's what the potential consequences is. Budget constraints, significant portion or even all of the government's revenue would go towards paying interest, leaving little to nothing for essential services like defense, healthcare, infrastructure, increased borrowing. The government may need to borrow even more to fund its operation, increasing a total debt. This creates a vicious cycle where more borrowing leads to higher interest payments, debt spiral. As debt grows, lenders may demand higher interest rates to compensate for the increased risk of default. This makes borrowing more expensive, further exacerbating the problem. Reduced economic confidence. The government, perceived as being in a precarious fiscal position, might lose the confidence of investors, businesses, and the public, potentially leading to a financial crisis. Inflation risk. If the government resorts to printing money to cover its obligations, what they already frickin' do anyway, it could lead to hyperinflation, which I already knew that would come. I mean, hyperinflation, yeah. Eroding the value of currency and savings. Cut to public services. To address the imbalance, governments might implement austerity measures such as cutting public services, raising taxes, or both, which could hurt economic growth and public welfare. Default risks. In extreme cases, the government could default on its debt, leading to severe economic, social consequences, both domestically and internationally. Addressing such a scenario typically requires a combination of policy changes, including spending cuts, revenue increases, or reforms to promote economic growth. However, reaching political consensus on these measures can be challenging. No kidding. Huh. Interesting.
You should add that to your video.
I did just now. So that was interesting. So here's a email from a community member, and she left a link. Okay. She said, love your content. Thank you for your faithfulness. You're welcome. Thank you. She said, my friend Jen is a senior woman who shares what she can out of her small village in Wisconsin, Avaco. She is one heck of a fighter, been standing up for her village people for years now with limited support as well as resources. I think you will like her small channel. She's a retired first responder EMT, and so she has that mindset of a badass. I have one question for you and America. How long before our enemies just resort to openly extermination us all like cockroaches, like they do to my friend Jen's neighborhood and have been for years? What? They literally call it fogging for mosquito. Oh, yeah, they do that here too, in the Tampa Bay area. If we don't stand up to these criminals, we are doomed. Please spread the word. No problem. The link is in the description box, okay? Everybody, also, please go and subscribe to her channel, okay? Thank you. And here's something this community member said. I'm not sure if you know who Amir is. He's Jewish and Christian, but he's clear on the other side of the earth, and posted this on his Telegram. This wasn't on any local news channels. She said, this is odd. Was on your news. I wonder if any community members from other areas heard about it. I know it's not a huge major mass thing, but it's closer to home. Definitely head on a swivel, faith over fear. No. 2 perished, 5 injured in a mass shooting in New Year's Day party, Kankakee, Illinois, United States. Let me look that up. Yep, here it is right here. 2 brothers and 2 brothers lost their lives. 5 other people were wounded in a mass shooting, New Year's Day house party. Police say around 4:05 in the morning, officers responded to reports of a gunfire at the house. When they arrived, they found several people running from the party. 4 victims were found at the scene. They were taken to local hospitals. Police say 3 other victims took themselves to local hospitals. 2 men were later pronounced at the hospital. 22-year-old Kayshawn Isom, I-S-O-M, and 20-year-old Travante Ellis of Pembroke Township. The police chief said one of the surviving victims was in critical condition. The other 4 people's injuries were not life-threatening. The victims range in age from 20 to 33. The 2 men who perished were brothers. Their uncle, who lives in Mississippi, and their mother traveled to Kankakee from Mississippi to identify the sons. He said she had 5 children, lost one son years ago to illness, and now lost her 2 sons to gun violence. Police believe more than 30 rounds were fired inside the home. Multiple calibers were recovered, suggesting more than one person fired shots. Jesus. Witnesses said there were at least 50 people in the home at the time. Several witnesses who didn't want to be on camera said they didn't hear any arguing, just the gunfire. Everybody looked like they were dancing and having a good time, and then gunshots rang out. You heard them, and then you heard 3, and then you heard 10 more. One woman said she was holding one of the victims when he perished. Jesus God. I sat there with some boy until he took his last breath, and then it was over with. It was just people everywhere, people laying on the ground. Oh my God. A neighbor who also didn't want to be on camera said he also heard the gunshots but didn't initially know if it was a crime or people celebrating the New Year. See, that's the thing. A lot of people can't distinguish the sounds between fireworks and gunshots. One person said, I did hear a bunch of gunshots, but at the time a lot of the mortars were going off at midnight. 2 firearms and multiple shell casings were found at the scene, and police said a 19-year-old suspect was found hiding in the backyard with a gun on him after the shooting. He was taken into custody for questioning, but no charges have been filed as of Wednesday afternoon. Police were at the home less than an hour before the shooting in an effort to break it up after complaints about shots fired in the area, and that first report was deemed unfounded. Wow. Whoa. It was unfounded, and then an hour later. Holy smokes. Wow. All right. Speaking of tragedy, before I go, okay, I don't know if a lot of you have heard, but Jason, the angry prepper, he lost his son to suicide. Okay, 26 years old. He lived in North Carolina. Jason is now in North Carolina. He is waiting for the coroner to release his body to Jason so he can be laid to rest. If you could please go over to Jason's channel and leave your condolences for him, okay? He's in a rough space right now, okay? Just, say a prayer for him and his family, okay? All right, guys, I'm out here. I will see you in the next one. You stay safe, you stay positive, you keep prepping. And as always, fearless.